Hello everybody, it's Dylan from Yugioh Everything, and welcome to another Yugioh VRains discussion video. Now this is information that came out a few days ago, and I wasn't going to cover it, and then I was sitting in my house today, I was bored, I'm off of school, and I was like, ring in the new week, I guess you could say. Tomorrow we have the cast list for episode 3, and then we have obviously the episode 2 review on Wednesday. So this is some information we got a couple of days ago. I will link the source in the description as I always do, and again, a big thank you to DMC for translating as always, and I will link his WordPress, which will be the source of this if you want to read it yourself in the description. So we just got some new descriptions about the characters, and I'll probably title the video something along the lines of Zaizen loyalty, because the most interesting thing, I know I sound like a broken record, I always say Aoi and Akira have the most interesting backstories whenever we see them in the opening or whenever we get them in something like this, but again, I think that it's the case, and I think it rings true again, and I will, explain myself, and I want to talk to you guys down below as well. So, Yusaku is a first-year high school student who possesses a calm demeanor and extraordinary analysis skills. Due to a certain incident, he generally tries to avoid contact with others. He seems to only trust Kusanagi. The two of them work together. So that tells me two things. One, Yusaku does not have family. His family is not in the picture anymore, and that he only has one friend, and that is Kusanagi. And the other thing that it tells me is there was an incident. Well, yeah, I mean, that's pretty obvious. There was an incident, and it led to him being very skittish around others, and he doesn't like to talk to people, which is why he was by himself in the classroom. Now, I don't know what this incident was, and I've said it before, the most interesting thing about VRains to me right now, there's a lot of interesting things, but one of them is to know what happened in Yusaku's past. So that is kind of a theory that I'm actually working on. I might release a formal theory video in the upcoming weeks, but I don't have enough proof. I'm waiting for a couple more episodes to see if we get some dialogue that I think we will get before I really make that theory. You guys know I like to, try to build up proof to a degree before making a theory video. So we don't know what that incident is, but it makes sense. He doesn't like other people. He probably doesn't have any family. He only has one friend, and that is Kusanagi. Speaking of Kusanagi, he operates a hot dog truck in Den City. After a certain incident in the past, he teamed up with Yusaku to fight the Knights of Hanoi. He supports Yusaku with his hacking skills. So that tells me that the Knights are probably responsible for the disappearance of his brother. Now, I wonder if it's going to be a situation, because myself and a lot of others are speculating that Revolver will come to the good side and Spectre will maybe take over as the main villain. I wonder if it was a situation where Revolver doesn't know that Kusanagi's brother was kidnapped or was killed or whatever it might have been, and Spectre was the one who went over Revolver's head and told, all the Knights to kill Kusanagi's brother, and maybe it was a situation where they needed Kusanagi's brother for something and Revolver wanted to do it by other means. He didn't want to, kill the guy or take the guy away or something along those lines, and Spectre was like, behind Revolver's back, screw this, we're just going to take his brother. If it was something along those lines, that could really lead to a bigger tear in the Knights of Hanoi, where we really do think that Spectre is going to be the main baddie of the Knights. So that's just kind of an interesting theory there. But the mysterious life form, a self-centered AI who gets carried away easily, also likes to joke around, much to Yusaku's annoyance, nothing new there. Shima Naoki, Yusaku's classmate and the talkative student who belongs to the Duel Club. He loves duel monsters and often has the most up-to-date duel-related info. So we know he loves the game, we know he loves duel monsters, he loves Yu-Gi-Oh!, but he's just not that good at it. So it's interesting that there is a duel club, I guess. That's something at the school. I wonder if it's like the numbers club in Zexel. Probably not. It's probably a little different, because that club was kind of run, I don't want to say underground, but it wasn't run through the school. The duel club is probably something a lot more official than that. So that'll be interesting. Maybe he'll work his way up to be like the president of the duel club, and that'll be kind of like a mini storyline for him. I can relate to this character a lot, and I really am rooting for Naoki. We are going to get to the really interesting ones here, and it is the Zaizens. Aoi Zaizen, Akira Zaizen's younger sister. She has a rather low-key and quiet demeanor at school. She is aloof towards others, and here's the new piece of dialogue. She is obedient to her brother. Then we're going to go to Akira. Seoul Technologies Corporation Security Chief. He and Aoi live by themselves without their parents. He devotes himself to work for Aoi's sake, but due to that, he usually does not have the chance to come home. So those are two huge pieces of dialogue that really show how loyal these characters are going to be to each other. And we weren't really sure about that. I myself thought that this was going to be a very toxic relationship, but it doesn't, and it still could be. It still could be, even though Aoi is obedient to Akira and Akira does have Aoi's interest in mind. It still could be a very toxic relationship. It's interesting. I hope we get some backstory on what happened to their parents. I would love if maybe what happened to their parents links to the Knights of Hanoi, or links to Bishop and that group, and that leads to the motivations of Akira splitting off, and maybe even Akira will join the team. Maybe one of those colors, maybe purple, will represent Akira Zaizen. I mean, who really knows? I don't think so, but I would just like if they did tell us what happened to their parents. But you have to put yourself in Akira's shoes, and I can do this pretty well, because you have to imagine he's probably 18, 19, and I myself am 22. So you have to imagine living by yourself with your younger sibling, with your sister, your brother. And from Akira's point of view, there's two ways you can supply support to a younger sibling, I think, and that's monetary and emotionally. And monetary is obviously making a lot of money, being able to live comfortably, which is clearly is what Akira is doing. Maybe a little too much based on that last line. He usually doesn't have the chance to come home. But when you're, at that age and you have to take care of yourself and someone, and you have no one above you that can help you out, you don't really have a choice. You have to work around the clock. You just have to. But the other big way you can be supportive is emotionally. And I think that sometimes emotional support is almost better than monetary support. If you're working a 40-hour job a week at minimum wage, but you're living in maybe a very smaller house, but you're there for each other and you guys can talk to each other and you're there on the weekends and whatnot. I think that's almost a healthier relationship than, making a lot of money and being able to live comfortably, but not only are you so stressed out when you're at work, and it could be even a situation where Akira gets home and he's home for 4 hours and his sister maybe wants to talk to him or hang out with him, because we know his sister does not have many friends, so she only maybe sees Akira as not only her brother, but her only friend. And she wants to talk to Akira, and he comes home from a 12-hour workday, and he's like, I really don't want to talk, I want to go to sleep. He sleeps for 6 hours and goes back into work the next morning. Or he's just constantly worrying about work because he has such a very prodigy-like position, being the head of the technology security, and so that is going to be such an interesting relationship. This could also lead to a couple different plot lines. We know that the Knights are the main hackers, but Yusaku is also a hacker, maybe not as vicious and as evil and as menacing as the Knights of Hanoi are, not even close, honestly. But if it's a situation where Akira, we have to remember, he knows who Aoi is, he knows who the Blue Angel is, I touched on that in a video. If he sees his sister as Blue Angel getting closer to Yusaku, he might say, look, you need to lure out Yusaku, we need to stop him, we need to capture him, we need to arrest him, whatever it may be. Aoi is going to be in a position where, alright, well, Yusaku saved my life, or Playmaker saved my life, but this is what my brother's telling me to do, and my brother never gives me instructions, he never trusts me enough to talk to me about what's going on at work, perhaps. I have to carry this mission out, and all of a sudden, Aoi has kind of a wicked perception towards Yusaku and towards the Playmaker, and tries to lure him out and, fall under the wishes of Akira. That's one route they could go. Another route they could go is, it's very interesting. Akira knows who Aoi is. He knows who Blue Angel is, and yet he had no reaction when Blue Angel was almost burned to a crisp, when the Cracking Dragon Knight of Hanoi almost destroyed her. We see him, and all he cares about is Ignis. He has no reaction, and that, I'm telling you, is done purposely, because Bishop and the other chess pieces, because there's other chess pieces in the background when we see Bishop talk, and I bet you the Knight and the Queen chess piece are going to be the real leaders of Soul Technology. They are probably watching that technology room, and if Akira has any reaction that the Blue Angel is his sister, or that he cares about the Blue Angel, that could not only compromise his job, but it could also put them in a very easy position where they can say, alright, you have to do this, otherwise we're going to send people after your sister and take her away or kill her or something along those lines. And now Akira is forced to bend at their will, because obviously he devotes himself to his work for Aoi's sake, so he obviously does care. His mind's in the right place, his heart maybe not, and it's just going to be there's so many different possibilities they can go here, and I do believe that the Zaizens have so much potential to really make Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains an enjoyable show, as all of these characters do, honestly, but I just love the relationship that they have so far, and I cannot wait to see some interaction between them. Maybe it's a little preemptive to say but this whole channel is saying preemptive stuff. I mean, that's what this channel is. So I cannot wait to see the interaction between the Zaizens, which hopefully will come in maybe episode 3, episode 4. At least if it comes before episode 10, I will be content. Because remember, I know some people were upset that Aoi didn't do much in the first episode. Aki did not duel until episode 15. She was not introduced until episode 14, I believe, or it might have even been episode 15. And to me, she's one of the, if not the best female we've had in Yu-Gi-Oh! So I'm not worried about a slow start for Aoi. If it happens within the first 10 episodes, I will be very content. So anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Please leave all your thoughts down below. I will talk to you again in the comment section, as always, and I will talk to you tomorrow in the episode 3 cast list analysis. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know all your predictions for this info down below. Have an amazing day. Thank you for watching.